Hi, I'm Tim Hamilton with StellarQuest Real Estate. I'm going to be responding to a question we received on one of our previous videos asking if we could talk a little bit more about how to transfer your Prop 13 tax base from one primary residence to a replacement home in a different county. And the question was specifically asking about Los Angeles County to Orange County. They also asked if we could give our opinion of Proposition 13 and whether or not that law is likely to stay in effect forever. Thank you so much for asking the question. We really appreciate your feedback. And to anyone watching, if you have a real estate related question, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. And we would be happy to make a video about it or reach out to you and answer that question directly. Before we get started on the video, I just wanted to say that this video should not be used as tax advice. If you're looking for specific advice on the tax implications of your next real estate transaction, we recommend that you speak to a qualified tax professional. First, we're going to talk about how you can transfer your Proposition 13 tax base from one primary residence to another in a different county, and then we'll address Los Angeles to Orange County specifically. We just posted a video talking about Proposition 19, which recently passed in the state of California and makes some changes to the rules. The new rules take effect on April 1st of 2021 and allow homeowners who are over the age of 55, severely disabled, or had their property substantially damaged by a wildfire or natural disaster to transfer the Proposition 13 tax base of their primary residence to a replacement home anywhere in the state. The new rules also allow these people to transfer the tax base to a more expensive home, but their tax base will be adjusted upward to make up the difference in value. If you want to learn more about Proposition 19, I would recommend that you watch the video we recently posted, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. If you wanted to transfer your tax base from Los Angeles County to Orange County before April 1st of 2021, you can still do that under the old rules, which state that you have to purchase a less expensive replacement home. The reason you can do this is because Orange County passed Proposition 90, which allows it to accept the transfer of the property tax base from an outside county. Each county in California got to decide whether or not they would pass Proposition 90, so not all counties will accept the transfer of a tax base before April 1st, 2021. However, once the new law takes effect on that date, then you can transfer your tax base anywhere in the state. If you've already transferred your tax base once before, you won't be able to make another transfer until after April 1st of 2021 unless you've become severely disabled. This is because the old rules only allowed you to make the transfer one time, while the new rules expanded it to 3. If your property has been substantially damaged by wildfire or natural disaster, there is no limit to the number of transfers you can make under the new rules. You can transfer it every time such an event occurs. You also need to make sure that the purchase of the replacement home and the sale of the original primary residence take place within 2 years of each other. So that means if you decide to sell your original primary residence first, you must purchase the replacement home within 2 years. And if you decide to purchase the replacement home first, you must sell your original primary residence within 2 years. The same applies if you're building the replacement home, which means the new construction must be completed within 2 years of the sale date of your original primary residence. Now, because there can be a little bit of a time delay between these events, we're not exactly sure how it's going to be handled if one event takes place before April 1st of 2021 and the other event takes place after that date. So for example, if you decided to sell your original primary residence before April 1st, and then you went out and purchased a more expensive replacement home after that date, we're currently not sure how they're going to handle that situation. So if you're thinking about taking advantage of Proposition 19 and going out and purchasing a more expensive home, or you're thinking about moving to a different county, you want to make sure that you're either following the old rules, or you need to speak with a qualified tax professional or attorney and get their input on whether or not you are allowed to do that under the new law. You will need to apply for the property tax transfer by filing a claim with your county tax assessor. The claim will need to be filed within 3 years of the purchase of the replacement property or the completion of new construction in order to receive the benefit for the full time that you own the home. If you file the claim after 3 years, then the tax benefit will begin in the calendar year in which you filed the claim. You will have to fill out a form called a BOE 60AH. This is the current name of the form, and it's entirely possible that under Proposition 19 they'll release a new form with a new name. You can normally find the form on your county tax assessor website. If you sold your original primary residence to a parent, child, or grandchild, and that person filed for the change in ownership exemption, then you will not be able to transfer your Prop 13 tax base to a replacement home. In other words, if you sold your home to a qualifying family member and that person inherited your tax base, you can no longer transfer it to a new replacement property. If your claim is approved, your tax base will be transferred to your replacement home as of the latest qualifying event. A qualifying event would be the purchase of your replacement home, the sale of your original primary residence, or completion of new construction on your new replacement home. This means if you decide to purchase or construct your replacement home first and then sell your original primary residence later, then you will be responsible to pay the increased tax amount on the replacement home until your original primary residence is sold. And finally, the last part of the question was asking our opinion of whether or not Proposition 13 will likely remain in effect forever. This is a really great question and a very difficult one to answer. It is extremely hard to predict what politicians might propose and what Californians might vote for. The recent trend does seem to be towards increased taxes in an attempt to increase state revenue. We've already seen several attacks on the Proposition 13 benefit for commercial and industrial properties only. So far, both of these attempts have failed and Californians have turned them down. So far, we haven't seen any proposals to remove the Prop 13 tax base protection for residential real estate. However, Proposition 19 did just make some changes to the way your Prop 13 tax base can be transferred to an immediate family member. If you want to learn more about those changes, I would recommend you watch our recent Prop 19 video that deals with family transfers, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. So for now, it does look like Prop 13 for residential real estate is fairly safe. I think California voters are much more likely to resist removing the residential side of the law, considering many more people are homeowners than owners of commercial or industrial real estate. Considering the attempts to remove Prop 13 for commercial and industrial have failed so far, I think this is a great sign for the Prop 13 protection for residential real estate owners. I really hope this video answered your question. Thanks again for asking it. If you have any other questions or would like some more clarity on this subject, please feel free to call or email us anytime. I also encourage anyone who's watching, if you have a real estate related question that you want us to answer, please feel free to leave it in the comments below or call or email us anytime. We're always looking for ways to improve our channel and answer the questions that matter to you. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Southern California and you have questions or you'd like our help, please feel free to call or email us anytime, and we're happy to help in any way we can.